This week on Fields of Glory, Touchdown Jesus takes center stage, and we will travel to South Bend, Indiana, and the hallowed grounds of Notre Dame Stadium. It's a religious football experience at one of the nation's oldest and most revered football sanctuaries. It's a fall Saturday at Notre Dame Stadium. Next on Fields of Glory. 100 miles east of Chicago is the city of South Bend, Indiana, the home of the University of Notre Dame, one of the most revered academic institutions in America. Notre Dame's historical roots date back to the mid-19th century, when Father Edward Sorin established the Catholic school in a small log cabin. From its humble beginnings, Notre Dame is now home to over 11,000 students, and its campus is a graceful combination of classic and modern architecture. But come every fall, the centerpiece of the university and maybe the college football world is Notre Dame Stadium, home to the legendary football team, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
South Bend was an industrial community. We had Studebaker with maybe 30,000 employees. In the period of time that I've been here of more than 50 years, it has changed to more of an educational and Notre Dame is the largest employer now in the whole community. Total change from what it was 50, 60 years ago. They estimate that on a normal football weekend, about $6 million comes into the economy of the community.
Statistics show that we're the second largest tourist attraction in the state of Indiana outside of the Speedway.
Programs, get your programs right here.
An amazing number of people will go to school here and go out in the world and earn their money and come back here and settle back here.
Notre Dame always stood for greatness. It stood for excellence academically, athletically, and I was so proud as a dad that both my girls were recipients of scholarships here for tennis and put in their 4 years and then got their MBAs. My son-in-law Thomas Krug was a quarterback here in '96. So Notre Dame's very important. As you can see, my grandchildren, I got 4 of them. He's already dressed up with his Notre Dame stuff. Go Irish!
I think the combination of everything, of excellence in all aspects, from academics to athletics, socially, spiritually, everything. They expect the best.
It is a spirit that only church and university can bring together, that has such great history and tradition, that spirit is carried forward with each new season.
It is a unique situation because you have an academic institution with a religious affiliation and a great history of football tradition. And you mold that all together, and you have what you see here on the campus on a game day.
Notre Dame, I feel you.
The tradition that goes on here, I think from game to game, it just builds and it builds. And when you win, there's so much excitement and so much love for this university. It's tremendous.
When Rockday was coaching here, Notre Dame had won 86% of the games that Notre Dame had played from 1887 to 1930. And then when the Frank Leahy years were here, when Frank Leahy left in 1953, the percentage had only gone down to about 84%.
The list of Notre Dame alumni read as a who's who of the game's greatest players, including Johnny Lujack, Golden Boy Paul Horney, Joe Theismann, Joe Montana, and Tim Brown.
On down! Down! There we go, Sully!
Notre Dame players don't quit. And of course, Notre Dame fans and players believe that they will win overall. And that there's no one that can beat them. That they are the preeminent football program in the United States. Always have been since the days of Rockne, and probably always will be. They believe that.
I love our current football team. I believe when the season is all said and done, that they will be an example of how Notre Dame does things well in terms of success on the field, success in the classroom, and success off the field.
This stadium, it's almost like the walls talk, and you can almost hear those voices or that history.
You know, this is a facility that, in I think most people's minds, has been thought to have been kind of a pristine place, a legendary place, and at times simply divine.
I have many visiting band directors that will come to me and just in awe and say, boy, this is really something you have here. Savor it while you can. There's no billboards or jumbotron. It's the football in the old way on a Saturday afternoon.
A lot of people talk about the stadium. It doesn't have, you know, the colors and everything that a lot of other stadiums have. But I think when you look at that stadium and just when you walk in and you feel, you know, what went down in that stadium, you know, years in past, it's something special. You know, to walk on that field, to be able to play, you know, with the guys that played, the Jerome Bettis, the Rocket Ismails, those type of guys, the Tim Browns, you know that they played on this same field. It's something great, you know. It's something that you're going to cherish for the rest of your life.
Notre Dame Stadium is one of the most revered structures in the world of sport. Now in its 74th year as the home of the Fighting Irish, this cathedral of college football has developed lore of its own. 11 consensus national titles, over 100 All-Americans, and 7 Heisman Trophy winners have graced the fields of this spectacular stadium.
I think there are probably 2 descriptions of Notre Dame Stadium. I think there was the one before the addition that was an unbelievable place that brought all of the university's great sight lines into place. And now we have the addition version, which still has much of that feel, but is not quite the same.
The expanded Notre Dame Stadium was dedicated on September 6, 1977, and since that day, every Irish home game has been a sellout of over 80,000 fans.
This original stadium was constructed through blueprints, I say blueprints, but the ideas of Knute Rockne in 1929-30. It originally opened in 1930. The character of the stadium probably best characterized as being tough. It is a tough stadium. The original stadium, if you look behind me or on the background, the gray seats and the gray wall is the original stadium and only seated 59,000 people at that point. With the renovation in 95 and 96, they increased the seating to 80,100. That's the tan seats that you see out there. At the same time, with the renovation of the stadium itself, we also renovated the entire field. Because the old field was a native soil field, and it was compacted and just didn't drain very well. You get a heavy rain, and it held water. It is a bluegrass field. We use Kentucky bluegrass because it is a grass that repairs itself very rapidly. I think the other thing is the height of the grass. Some coaches like it really long. They want a slower field, especially the more defensive-minded coaches. Other coaches like a very fast track and like it mowed short. Coach Willingham likes a very fast track. We have two main goals, and one is to provide the most aesthetically pleasing field possible to the fans and patrons that come to the game, but even more importantly, to provide the safest playing surface for the student athletes. On a day like today, the sun's shining, that pattern's in there, it's looking great, the numbers, the paint is bright. The only thing that's really missing are the players on the field right now and fans in the stands.
One of the more famous icons at Notre Dame is a giant mosaic on the library building just north of the stadium. Fans of Notre Dame football fondly refer to it as Touchdown Jesus.
Well, Touchdown Jesus is a large mosaic. It's in the north end zone, and he has his hands raised, as if it's a touchdown. And he got the nickname Touchdown Jesus. He's part of the Notre Dame culture. It's like the grotto. It's like the cathedral. It's the Golden Dome. That's what it is. It's all part of the Notre Dame culture that makes Notre Dame so great. Well, of course, the stadium has 21,000 more people now. That's one of the big changes as far as Notre Dame Stadium. But the sad part of that is a lot of people who come to Notre Dame Stadium now can't see Touchdown Jesus because of the upper deck, the 21,000 seats that were added.
What you're looking at is Touchdown Jesus. Since they built the addition on the stadium, we can no longer you can no longer see him from the library. So we brought him in on our helmets now.
My name is Jerry Beers. We're painting the helmets for the first home game.
The painting of the Notre Dame helmets begins the Friday morning before a home game. Select students paint and buff the helmets inside the stadium concourse. When the task has been completed, the golden helmets shine.
For away games, usually we do 65 helmets, and then for home games, it's around 105. It'll take anywhere from 3 to 5 hours, depending on how well the guns are working and how the paint's drying. So I love it. It's amazing. It's one of the greatest privileges that I've been able to do here since I've been a student.
Religion and faith are an integral part of the Notre Dame experience. Before each home game, the players attend Mass at the Basilica. At the end of the service, the team makes its traditional march from the Basilica to the stadium, signifying that game time is approaching.
I mean, that's a beautiful thing. And you just see so many individuals with their support. I mean, if you can imagine, I mean, the pathway walking from Basilica all the way to the stadium, you just feel the energy from player to player, from fan to fan, and I think it's just a great experience.
When we make that walk, it's not the fastest walk, so you get a time to think about what's going to go on. And I know everybody's focused on what's about to happen, and just replaying their assignments, little things, and the support that we have when we walk past, when everybody's clapping and everything like that. Usually people see their parents. Whenever I see my mother, I give her a kiss, and really that's the last time before we get it going. So I know that everybody has our back, and we're going to get the job done as a team. And I like the fact we walk over as a team. Everybody does it, everybody goes through it, and we know we're going to enter the stadium as a team, we're going to leave as a team.
The spirit and the dedication of people and the rallying around this tradition is just fantastic.
It's a Saturday morning in South Bend, and over 80,000 people will come together at Notre Dame Stadium to cheer on the Fighting Irish. But before the game begins on the field, the fans are assembling for another time-honored Notre Dame tradition, tailgating.
Tailgating is Notre Dame. That's what it is. We graduated 2 years ago. We're back, and I can't say enough about tailgating.
But the tailgating experience, it's part of the Notre Dame community. Those people who haven't had a chance to communicate during the course of the summer and the spring after the season's over, it's a chance for them to get together again, to talk about what's happened with their families, to talk what's happened during vacation, and to talk about their expectations of Notre Dame football and what the season's going to bring.
That's going to cost you.
No matter how long you've been away and no matter how long you were here,
you're always welcome back. You're always welcome back.
There's always people who make you feel welcome, make you feel part of the Notre Dame group, and that's what it's all about. That's why people love it.
And there's always a chance that we're going to win today.
I was 4 years old watching Notre Dame in bowl games back. We won't say how long ago it was, but that's all I've been raised on. I'm an Irish Catholic. I got 15 brothers and sisters.
I've been coming to Notre Dame football games since 1948. We love it, and we want to see Notre Dame win, and that's it. That's the whole ball game.
It's just that time of year. It's fall. It's time for football season, and it wouldn't be football without Notre Dame.
Well, it's a good time to be out with your friends, to support the Irish. We're a Black Law Student Association. We're trying to, support each other, support the Irish. Hopefully we can pull something out today. Shock the world. You know how it is. Trying to cook at the same time. Got the ribs on, the special made sauce. Can't go wrong. Nothing else, the food's good.
Cooking one of our specialties. This is shrimp and jalapeno wrapped in bacon. We do this every time we come and tailgate.
We make one trip a year out here, whether we need it or not. Let's go!
Tailgating's about getting ready for the game. You gotta have something cold to drink, something good to eat, and it's about being with friends and family, renewing. Every home game's a reunion here.
It's the people, it's the camaraderie, it's the people, it's the history. This tailgate. And our bus driver's the best guy ever. Family atmosphere. Bring our bus driver. This guy that shows that. He made it all happen. He's the guy that got us here. The football team brought us together. But the friends and the fans we meet out here is what brings us back day in and day out.
The Notre Dame logo features a side view of the leprechaun with his dukes up, ready for a fight. True to the spirit of the Fighting Irish, the leprechaun serves as the Notre Dame mascot. Every year since 1965, a Notre Dame student is selected to carry on this great tradition. The Band of the Fighting Irish is the nation's oldest university band in existence. They have been part of every home game since football started at Notre Dame over 100 years ago. The Band of the Fighting Irish was the first in the nation to include pageantry, precision drill, and the famous picture formations during its performances.
This is a diagram of what the band is going to be doing on the field on Saturday. Top secret stuff here. This is a glimpse.
Our character is tradition. We are 159 years old, and with that comes the weight and responsibility of carrying that tradition on for all those that have participated in the band or served the band through the years.
The Notre Dame marching song is the most recognized song and the most popular of all the fight songs of any school in the United States, and at least 117 Division 1A. So Notre Dame is number one in so many areas.
It always strikes up the spirit and the can-do pride of Notre Dame football.
I never get tired of the fight song. It's the #1 fight song. It's the best fight song.
Cheer, cheer for old Notre Dame. Wake up the echoes cheering her name.
Sing down Molly, cheer on high. Sing down the thunder from the sky. What though the odds be great or small, old Notre Dame will win overall.
Today's band show was designed and directed by Dr. Ken Dye. Enjoy the second half, everybody.
The excitement of Notre Dame football builds to a crescendo as the team leaves the locker room, with each player touching the Play Like a Champion sign, which has been in place since 1934.
Well, it is a special feeling. It is a feeling that ignites memories of all the great coaches and all the great players.
When you come through the tunnel, there's a charge that goes up your back. You feel a sense of responsibility. You know there's an opponent over there across the other side of the field. You know the fans are all into the game, and all of a sudden you feel you can't let them down. That's the sense that you have, and that you got to play your best.
You just get chills. I mean, honestly, thinking about all the greats that have played here, and walking the same path they have. It's just truly an honor to put on the gold helmet and put on that jersey and walk out the tunnel.
Led by Coach Tyrone Willingham, the team runs through the tunnel and makes a dramatic entrance onto the field, with 80,000 fans chanting, "Here come the Irish." Kickoff is only moments away.
It sort of reminds me of the movie Gladiator, and you hear the gates lock behind you, and you're walking down the tunnel, and you see the other team. You know in a matter of minutes, this thing is going to go crazy, and I think that's the excitement that everyone goes with. And I guess you could visualize it. You have a face mask in front of you, wearing your helmet. It's really cool because you have like a cage on. You have a cage on your face. You hear gates slamming behind you. You hear people screaming and roaring. And in a couple of minutes, you're about to go to battle. And that's why I said before with that movie Gladiator, that's why it really makes me think about how it is. You hear everything behind you. You see people hanging down from the stadium, and they're going crazy. And in a matter of minutes, it's about to set up.
During the game, it's easy to see why Notre Dame fans are considered the most enthusiastic in the nation. Students and alumni stand during the entire game cheering for the Irish. When Notre Dame scores, the Leprechaun, cheerleaders, and fans do push-ups for every point scored.
A Notre Dame fan, their blood, they would bleed gold and blue.
The Notre Dame fan is kind of the connoisseur of college football, where another fan at a larger school might reach for a regular mustard. This is a great poupon crowd.
The Notre Dame fan, especially in relationship to what I do, if I would start one day and decide, right now, we're a little bit down. And if somebody would say, hey, why don't you get that crowd fired up, do a few yucks and a few of this and a few of that. These fans are so sophisticated, I swear, they would turn on me. I mean, I don't know what it is around the country, but we got to have among the highest percentage of people with continuous season tickets here. So there's no sugarcoating with these people. Give it to them straight.
Okay, the first cheer of the fourth quarter is my favorite, and it starts with the student section yelling, "We!" And then over here, R, N, D. Sometimes it's hard to talk to 80,000 people.
At the end of each game, in victory as well as in defeat, the Irish football players will always lift their helmets to the crowd in a final salute. It is a salute not only to the thousands of Irish fans in attendance, but also a salute to the history of this great program and to the honored tradition that is Notre Dame football.
Winning and losing, of course, matters to the Notre Dame fan. It's much more fun to win than it is to lose. But there's also an appreciation for the sportsmanship of the event that all our students, no matter how voracious, they understand the sportsmanship aspect.
It's great to be a part of Notre Dame, part of the Notre Dame tradition, part of the family that's passed through Notre Dame, because the expectations of the past are the expectations of the present and the expectations of the future.
I think it's a high intensity of pride that develops when you look and you're so close to the fans, and you know that you just played your butt off, and you've sweated, you've bled, and you've given everything, not just for yourself, but for the players standing next to you, for the fans, for everybody, and everyone's so joyful of what just happened. I think it's a beautiful experience.
It's that old saying that when someone is excited, you can feel the fire. And when the stadium is abuzz, that fire, that spirit, that energy is transported down to the field. And when the team is excited, that excitement, that joy, that love of the game, that special spirit that only is at Notre Dame is generated through every bench, every seat, every corner, every aisle of that stadium. And you can just touch it.
For Fields of Glory, I'm Brent Musburger.